the pointless ability that slightly differentiates it from someone else. Like this one's a demon. Um, oh
We'll
yeah.
see.
Speaking of demons and beasts, one thing I'm worried about is because this is a goblin themes that there won't be enough demons and beasts. Those are very important cards, and that can really screw up the arena if they don't at least keep pace. Like beasts have gotten to a good point, but we need to keep pace. You can't have it have less beast synergies, and you actually want to make it a little higher because the more cards you add, the more randomness there is. So you want to control that a bit because what's a hunter without beasts? And demon synergies are already kind of iffy, as you saw with what we tried to do with our draft today. So to have that take a step down is going to really hurt the warlock.
Yeah. There's a comment from It's Bolt saying this isn't that we're not discussing all the cards that have been shown. There's a ton more you haven't gone over. Um,
Well, they're on the bottom,
okay.
most of them, and the other ones are legendaries, which we're not going over because they're not going to impact the arena. Recombobulator, transform a friendly minion into a random minion with the same cost. It's an epic card, but it's a 3/2. It'll add some consistency. It's not a terribly powerful move, but you do it on something like a Dragonling mechanic or like a Gnomish inventor, um, or Gnomish. Is it a Gnomish inventor? The four drop that's a 2/4 and draws a card.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That draws.
like something like that with a battle cry that's already done its job, and then it becomes very good. But you have to wait for
Right.
your spot to play it, which is not what you want to do with a 2 drop. So it's not as powerful as it may seem.
Yeah. Um, uh, what you're really hoping to do also is it's kind of like a pseudo heal too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So there's some value in that, but we'll see.
yeah. But between the
We'll see.
randomness and the parts that you have to pick your spots, it's not going to be the most overpowered thing.
Yeah.
Tinkertown Technician is a normal 3/3. You will be sad if you get this card. Although, as a 3 mana card, you can really hold it in your hand for a while until you do have a mech somewhere before you play it down. So, you're guaranteed almost a 4/4 with a spare part, which is good for 3 mana. But by that point, like, is a 4/4 really making a huge difference compared to a 3/3? It's going to be one of those cards that's going to float around the middle. Like, not going to be that good. Not going to be awful.
Yeah.
Uncollectible cards, we don't care because you can't draft them. And here are the class cards.
I think people want to hear about like the priest card. I know that's been getting a lot of talk, but I think mostly for constructed because of Cabal Shadow Priest.
Yeah, I mean, Valen's
Yeah.
Chosen is going to be a decent card. It's not going to be great. You're not going to want to draft it, but it will not be the most awful card because of
Right.
the 4 health part. Because you're just trying to get minions to stick on the board. So adding 4 health is a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was talking about the 3/2 that gives -2 attack to a random minion for 1 turn only.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
No.
great even in the arena. I mean, it's just, and the fact that it's a 2 drop means that priests get added 2 drop consistency, which they don't
Yep.
have and they need. So it's a very deliberate move on Blizzard's part to try to give the priests in arena more consistency by making this one a common.
Yeah.
And does the Ochre Warmaw come from something, or is that actually just like, why is it considered a class card? Which class is this? Does anyone in the chat
Uh,
know? Because I had thought that the Ogre Warmaw like came from somewhere, but if it's
it's a
just
warrior class card.
it's a warrior class card,
Yes.
well then it's not terribly exciting at all. who would want a 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy for just saving 1 mana?
Yeah.
It's not even the wrong enemy minion. You can just like hit their opponent to the
Just hit
face.
hit them to the face. I know.
It's gonna be on the awful side, especially with warrior. You have so many weapons. This is not. This is gonna be on the bad side of weapons.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, so it comes from Blingotron.
there we go. There we go. It comes from Blingotron, which is, yeah, Blingotron 300. Equip a random weapon for each player. Wait, then how is this random?
Is it only possible to get it from Blinotron, or is this
Oh.
something that we just don't know?
Regardless, not a terribly good weapon if it's 3 mana and like this, and the warrior has it. I can see it being
Yeah.
useful in other classes where you're like, well, I don't have weapons anyway. Okay, Goblin Blastmaster. If you control a mech, deal 4 damage randomly split among enemy characters. That is really, really good. You just have to have a mech, but it's a 5/4, so it'll do something in the late game. This is a much better power than like a Tinkertown Technician, which becomes a 4/4 and puts a spare part, even though this costs 1 more mana. That 4 damage randomly split among enemy characters is even better than the Matter Bomber's 6 damage among characters, including yours. So that's going to be a powerful late game control-y kind of move.
Yeah.
And Flame Cannon, I mean, I don't know. Does the mage really need this?
No, I don't think so.
It'll give a little consistency to the early drop, but this is like a Shadow Bolt.
Yeah, no, it basically is a Shadow Bolt, and the Shadow Bolt is not anything game breaking.
Yeah. It's not even good. You don't even want it. I guess it gives aggro mages some consistency in their removals for the early stuff, but I don't see it as being a terribly great card in the arena. They probably just added this so that mage will still have access to the same percentages of removals that they used to. Like, they don't want to make the mage like a minion-based class.
Yeah,
So-
they still want them to be spell heavy. I
So I
think
think
that's
they
fine.
like threw it in as like
Yeah, that's
their
fine.
worst spell, like arcane missiles, but probably actually worse than that. Upgraded repair bot. Battlecry give a friendly mech plus 4 health. You need a mech. They're gonna have about 30 mechs, which makes them potentially draftable in the arena, but it's going to be the synergy's still going to be iffy. So, is this draftable? Probably. It's 5 mana for a 5/5, so already you're not losing much. And if you get some mechs, it can become really good. So, I can see it being like a Tiger level card. Bouncing Blades. I can't say anything about it right now. I have to see it in action. It's such a different card.
That thing, I think that was such a unique and cool idea for Bouncing Blades, but
I have
Yeah.
no idea. I have no idea how this is going to work in the arena. It'll probably take me playing this card, at least like facing it or using it, at least like 20, 30 times before I can even form an opinion on it.
yeah.
Like, I don't even know when to like use it. Okay. Unstable Portal, our last card. Add a random minion to your hand. It costs 3 less. This is by definition good for tempo. Unless it happens to be a 1-drop, which it will very, very rarely be. So, it's like Mind Games, but whereas Mind Games gives you on average like a 3 mana drop, this one's going to on average save you mana. So it's like Mind Games, but a whole ton better. So it's going to be fun. I don't know how well it fits in a mage deck, but it's 2 mana. So it could potentially get you a 2 or 3 mana minion that you can play on that on turn 2. Although you never want to use it as a drop, because you may not, and it'll just miss your drop. It's kind of hard to evaluate. It'll never be a super overpowered card, but it could be better than average. It'll help that that like mid-game tempo-y push that the mage, like after finishing a flame strike, for example, to start like dropping stuff immediately. Well, that was a nice and long chat. We hope to never do this again.
Yes. You can open the rest of your packs.
Oh yeah, I have to open the rest of my packs. Hold on, let me delete this thing. Okay. So I'm going to open the rest of my packs. And feel free to ask any questions about anything we've said. And Merps will...
Wait, what?
You'll tell me their questions because I'm opening packs, so I'm not reading the chat.
Okay, I thought you were just gonna toss everything to me.
All questions are yours now.
No.
So feel free to ask any questions about the arena, our tier list, our run that was the most unsuccessful run in Arena Coop history. Or
Yes.
goblins.
This is the perfect time to hype up the tier list. I told him, I'm like, with this tier list, you two could go on a 3-game winning, losing streak.
Well, you know, we drafted anti-tier list a couple times with the Warlock synergies, which
did.
was a bad
We
call,
did.
and I think it may have lost us a game. So I think we could have done better if we followed our tier list more actually this run. Because it wasn't like totally unlikely. Like it was probably like I think a 20% chance to not get offered a Doom Guard or a Dread Inferno. But
Yeah.
it happens. And getting offered
it
one
definitely-
wouldn't even make it very good.
Yeah, you really want. Oh. The Pyroblast.
What a legendary. This is such a sad run.
Well, you did get 2 golden legendaries, right? No, wait, you got. Yeah, you got like 2 golden legendaries that one run.
Yeah.
By
You got
one
a
run.
regular legendary after that, but you
Yeah.
always want more. You always want more.
So we got a question. Someone asked, was the deck that we played today a great deal worse than the previous quote-unquote bad decks you've gone reasonably far with?
Yes. Well, it depends on which bad deck you're talking about. So this was worse than the priest deck.
Yes.
This is definitely worse than the priest deck.
I think the rogue deck, like that really bad rogue deck,
Yeah.
that might have.
The rogue and the
challenged.
warrior deck were both worse. So you're looking at our second warrior or our first rogue, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So those were worse decks. But this is our third worst deck that we've had the pleasure to work with. And we could not, unlike the other times, we could not claw our way to like 5, 6, 7 wins.
Yep.
And I mean, you know, one of the ones we weren't going to win anyway. He started out with a coin and an innervate into a combo that perfectly screwed with what we had put out. So that wasn't going to happen.
Yep. And that's fine. Stuff happens.
No
But-
card luck either. No pack luck either. The rogue deck was Murph's fault for talking. Oh no, we were talking about the other rogue deck, the earlier one, the one that was like run number 4, the one where
Yeah.
it was Murph's fault for talking, and also my fault for listening, and also just our faults for generally being way too tired to play that day. That one actually was not a bad
was
deck.
bad.
That was not a bad deck. That deck, I think we could have reasonably gone 8-9 wins without like too much trouble. That was
Yep.
like our misplay. So we're talking about the earlier rogue
But
deck.
all right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for
today, and
joining
hopefully-
us. Yeah.
Yeah, we will try to improve on this on our 3-win run next
Oh
week.
god. Well, it'll be good because we won't be using Warlock, so that'll be an improvement already.
That is true. We were kind of dreading this. This is
Yeah.
why we pushed back the second Warlock run.
Yeah, until the very end. Warlock's always the last class that we go through. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you guys next week when we will hype up our tier list even more because it'll be released the Monday after that.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Take care.
All right, we're done.
Well, that sucked.
That was awful.
I think we did what we could with that. I mean, we just got steamrolled like the other ones.
I mean, we just